recording. One thing that I want you to remember, and I'll make a little cheater chart for you, is if we have two terms, remember your first thing you do is GCF. Always do GCF. Two terms is either going to be only GCF or it's going to be pairs and share. You have to break it down. Okay, so that's the only thing that it's going to do. You can write this anywhere, it doesn't matter, okay? If there's a blank back to your notes or whatever, you can write it there. I don't know how your notes end up. If you have three terms, the first thing you're going to do is GCF. The second thing you're going to look for, is it like n squared or is it 2n squared? So if it's three terms, you're either going to do your cheater method or you're going to do slide and divide. But again, always try to take out a GCF to begin with. Or you're going to have four terms and you're either going to group them or we've been doing reverse box. Okay. And we're going to go over every single one of these. Okay. So I will pick the problems that will show each one of these. All right. So we're going to start with the fisherman worksheet. How can fishermen save gas? And again, whatever number I write is the number that corresponds to the paper. Okay, so we're going to do number 1. It is 4n squared minus 49. The first thing that you're always going to do is break it down. And I always do that on top of it so it's not messing in my workspace. So 4 is 2 and 2 and 2 n's. We have a minus. 49 is 7 and 7. So is it a GCF or is it pairs and share? Pairs and share. So we write our parentheses. In the front, we share a 2 and an n. In the back, we share a 7. Remember, 1 is positive, 1 is negative. Yes, the number corresponds with the problem on the paper, but I don't have room to work on this paper. Number 1 on fishermen. Okay. All right. So then what you're going to do on this paper is you're going to come to these numbers right here in these letters. And we had 2n plus 7 and 2n minus 7. And you're going to connect those two. 2n plus 7, 2n minus 7. That means number 9 at the bottom, you fill in with a G. So we go to the bottom. Number 9, you fill in with a G. Got it? All right, we're going to do a couple more so we can go over that. I'm going to do number 2. Number 2 on fishermen is n squared plus 8n plus 12. On the top, I'm going to break it down. We have n, we have a big fat plus. 8 is 3 2's and an n. And 12 is 2 and 6, or 2, 2, and 3. And I'll give you a minute to write that down. So all I did was break them down to see if there was a GCF. So I'm going to slide it down for a minute so you guys can see this. We did GCF. I don't see a GCF in here, so it's 3 terms. So it's either going to be cheater method or slide and divide. The way you know is if there's a number in front. If there's not a number, remember, we're just doing factors at the last that add to the middle, and we do that in our calculator. So we put it in our calculator, 12 divide x, 12 divide x plus x. When we look in our table, we're looking for 8, and we see 2 and 6. So our factors are n plus 2 and n plus 6. Is everybody okay with that? So that one is cheater method. So if you need to write out to the side, this one was, number 1 was pairs and share. Number 2 is cheater method. So you have an example of all of them and you know where it's at. That'll be fine as well. So n plus 2 and n plus 6 we're going to connect. So we connected number 11 and letter A. So drop down to the bottom. Number 11 is letter A. When you turn these in, I need the sheet filled in. So like this part filled in, and I need to see your work. If I don't have your work, it's a big fat 0. Does everybody understand that? I just need the work. It's not going to take you long once you get started. All right. Number 3, number 4, and here's what I'll do for you. 3 and 4 are cheater method. 5 is cheater method. Okay, so all of those are worked the same way. Is everybody good? So just so you know how to do it, it'll just help you out a little bit. How do I know it's cheater method? I'm going to tell you right now, there's no GCF and there's no number in front. So that's how I know it's cheater method. Now the last one has a number in front. So it could have a GCF or it could be that we have to use slide and divide. Okay, so let's look at number 6. We have 3n squared minus 8n plus 5. If I break it down, I have a 3 and 2 n's minus 3 2's and an n plus just a 5. I don't have a GCF. So since we don't have a GCF and we have a number in front, this one is going to be 3 terms. It's not cheater method. It's going to be slide and divide. So we're going to slide our 3 over. And we're going to get n squared minus 8n plus 3 times 5 is 15. Remember, we multiply that. Now it turns into cheater method. So I need factors of 15 that add to negative 8. You guys know how to do that in your calculator. So I'm going to move on, tell you the factors. Those 2 factors are negative 3 and negative 5. Again, you can find those in your calculator. I just don't want to waste your time showing you how to do something you already know how to do. So don't forget, if we multiply, then we have to go back and divide. So slide and divide. So we're going to divide by that number we slid over, which was a 3. And we're going to clean it up. 3 divided by 3 is 1. If you need to check it, you can type this in, 5 divided 3, math, enter, enter. And we still get 5 over 3, which means it won't reduce. So Ms. Burkhart always says bottoms up. So make sure that that 3 goes in the front. And there are your 2 factors, n minus 1 and 3n minus 5. Now we're going to do a couple of these because I think you're okay with cheater method. I think slide and divide we need to do a couple more of. Okay. Is everybody good on that one? Do it. Oh, no, you're fine. You just tell me when you're ready. All right. So we're going to find n minus 1 and 3n minus 5, and 18 is S. 18 is S. All right. So this one was slide and divide. What do you think number 7 is going to be? It's 3 terms, and there's no number in front. Cheater method, so we can put a little C next to it. Number 8 has 3 terms, but there's a number in front. So what do you think we're going to do on it? Slide and divide. So I'm going to do number 8 with you just so you have another one. Okay. Number 8 is 5a squared plus 9a minus 2. If we break it down, we have 5 and 2 A's, a 3, 3, and an A, and a 2. So you can see that there's no GCF. So we just go straight slide and divide. So we slide the 5 over. We get A squared plus 9A. 5 times negative 2 is negative 10. Now it's cheater method. I need factors of negative 10 that add to 9. You know how to find those. I'm going to go ahead and tell you that it's 10 and negative 1. So a positive 10 and a negative 1. I did slide. I need to divide. What is 10 divided by 5? Whoop, 2. So your first factor is A plus 2. Again, 1 over 5 will not reduce. You can check that in your calculator. So we're going to slide the 5 to the front and get 5A minus 1. All right. So ready, good? All right. So A plus 2 and 5A minus 1, we're in the middle section now. 5A minus 1 and A plus 2. So 7 is I. We're going to do number 9 together. Number 9 is 3 terms, and there's a number in front. So we're going to be doing slide and divide. So 2A squared plus 11A plus 15. And again, remember that I'm doing your homework with you. Does everybody understand? I'm doing your homework with you. So make sure you're writing this down because it's part of your homework. That's less numbers you have to do. I'm going to go ahead and tell you there's no GCF. This one has to be slide and divide. So we're going to slide this over. 2 times 15 is 30. It turns into cheater method. Factors of 30 that add to 11. I'm going to go ahead and tell you our 5 and 6. So we would have A plus 5 and A plus 6. The one thing everybody forgets, once you slide, make sure that you divide. So we want to divide by that 2. Again, if you want to check it, 5 divide 2, math, enter, does not change. So that means the 2 goes to the front. If we put in 6 divide 2, math, enter, we get 3. So this 6 over 2 changes to 3. So there's your answer. All right, when we go back to the paper, again, we're in the middle section, 2A plus 5 and A plus 3 connect. So 16 is O. All right, so we did 8 and 9. We did 1, 2, and 6, right? Okay, so I told you I'm gonna try to do half and half with you. All right, look at number 10. I only have 2 terms, so it's either gonna be GCF or it's gonna be pairs and share. So I'm gonna look at number 10. I'll move my paper so you can see it. Number 10 was 1 minus 9A to the 4th. Factors of 1 are 1 and 1. You could have just put 1, 1, it would have been fine. Factors of 9 are 3 and 3, and 4 a's. If you guys look, there are pairs of everything. There are pairs of 1s, pairs of 3s, and there's actually 2 pairs of a's. Okay. So you're going to do the same thing you did, pairs and share. So we're going to share it. In the front, we're going to share a 1. In the back, a 3 and 2 a's. A 3 and 2 a's. 1 is positive, 1 is negative. So you ready? Good? Pretty simple, right? That's the only pairs and share you have left on here. So 8 and n match. So number 8 is n, and that gets number 10 out of the way. Okay. Number 11 is cheater method. It won't take you any time at all. 16 is cheater method, and then the rest of them are going to be slide and divide. There are no GCFs on this one. Okay, so all these are going to be slide and divide. We're going to go over a couple of them. Let's go over 14 because it's a big numbers. You okay? You need some paper? Okay, let me know if you do, okay? All right, so we're going to, what? Oh. We're going to go over 14. And again, just because they're larger numbers, 25u squared minus 20u plus 4. There's no GCF, I'm telling you already, so just don't even do that step when you do your homework on this page. There's no GCF, so just go straight slide and divide or cheater method. So we're going to slide this over.
Is that an 8? I mean 8? Oh, that's
25u squared.
Oh, okay.
And then 25 times 4 is 100. Just to remind you one more time, factors of 100, we would put in our calculator like this, and we're looking for negative 20. So in your table, there's my negatives. There's your negative 20, negative 10, negative 10. So u minus 10, u minus 10. Don't forget, you did slide. Now you have to divide. And don't do this twice. They're both the same. Excuse me, they're both the same thing. So once you do one, you can do the other one. I'm going to check to see if 10 over 25 reduces. So math, enter, and it gives me 2/5. Remember, they're both the same. And then since I still have a fraction, I just move the 5 up. So both factors are 5u minus 2 and 5u minus 2. Everybody okay? On this paper, connect those together, and number 3 is F, and we did number 14. Let's do number 17, and we'll be done with this page. We'll switch to the next one. 17 is 6u squared plus 17u minus 10. I told you there's no GCF. So we're going to slide it over. 17u. So 6u squared plus 17u minus 10. Slide your 6 over and multiply. So u squared plus 17u minus 60. I need factors of negative 60 that add to 17. They're right there, negative 3 and 20. Negative 3 and a positive 20. I did slide. Now I have to divide. You want to check to see if the fractions reduce. So I have it at the top of the screen up there. 3 divide 6, math, enter, reduces to 1/2. Okay. 20 divide 6, math, enter, reduces to 10/3. They are still fractions. So we move those bottom numbers up. 2u minus 1 and 3u plus 10. So 17 is L. And so you don't have to do number 17. So you only have 4 slide and divides that you have to do on this paper. Okay, 4 slide and divides. Everything else is cheater method.
But can you just do number 3?
Absolutely, absolutely. Bless you. Adam, I'll give you my papers.
Oh,
Okay.
Alright.
So that way you have them in front of you. And you already have the ones marked that we've done. Yes. Number 12 is slide and divide. All right, so now on all of these, if you guys look at all of your answers, you see something's pulled out. So all of these are going to have a GCF before you start. Okay, every one of them will have a GCF. So you have to break them down. So we're going to try to do, like I said, half of them. So I want to do 6 more problems and then I'll leave you alone. Okay, everybody good? All right, so we're going to start with number 1. And we have 3x squared minus 15x plus 18. And I'm going to tell you already, they all have GCFs, every one of them. So we're going to break down 3x squared, which is 3x and x. We're going to break down 15, which is 3 and 5 and x. 18 is 9 times 2. 9 is 3 and 3. Right? What do they all have in common?
you have 3.
A 3. So what I would do is write that 3 out to the side and my 2 sets of parentheses just to kind of hold a place. Don't forget about it, okay? So then that leaves me with x squared minus 5x, and then 2 times 3 is 6. This turned it into cheater method because there's no number in front. So I need factors of 6 that add to -5. Again, if you need your calculator, this will probably be the last time that I do this. Factors of 6 that add to -5. So those are -3 and -2. This was not slide and divide, so that's your final answer. Those move up here. So just make sure that you keep that 3 on the outside. And if you guys look underneath, there was only one answer that did have a 3 on the outside. So if you can do it that way, that's fine as well. So number 1. Sorry, I hit my cord. Number 1 is going to be O. So we just put that in. And again, it's right here. Is everybody good? All right, look at number 2. Number 2 is x cubed plus 11x squared plus 10x. If you break this down, x cubed is 3x's. 11 doesn't break down, but it has 2 x's with it. 10 breaks into 2, 5, and x. What's in common in all three?
They all have two X's.
Not 2
No,
x's, but
one.
just one. Yep. So again, I would just write it like this. And if you look, there's only 2 answers that just have an x pulled out. That's either A or E at the bottom. So it's going to be one of those 2. Okay. That leaves me with x squared plus 11x plus 2 times 5 is 10. It becomes cheater method, factors of 10 that add to 11, just to show you our 10 and 1. So a positive 10 and a positive 1. And again, you can find those in your calculator and that's fine. So number 2 is going to be E. Let me get a couple more on this side and I'll do some of the other side. The other side are just the M's and not X's. Okay. All right, let's look at number 3. How many terms does number 3 have?
E. Number two
Sorry.
was E, right?
Here you go. Yep, number 2 is the one that I marked off. E right here. Did I good? Sorry about that.
It's fine.
How many terms does number 3 have? 2. So this one is either going to be just straight GCF or it's going to be GCF with pairs and share. Nope, we don't slide and divide unless it's 3
Oh,
times.
yeah.
It's okay. All right, so here it is. 8 is 2, 2, and 2, and 3 x's. 18 is 9 times 2. 9 is 3 and 3, and an x. I told you all of them have a GCF. So what's the GCF on this? What's in common?
1, 2, and 1X.
1, 2, and 1x. So we're going to write that outside our parentheses. What's that leave you with? What do you see?
Pairs.
Pairs. So what goes in the front? What do I have pairs of?
2, 2, 2. And 3, 3.
Look at it. What else?
Oh, and an X.
And an x. And in the back, what do I have pairs of?
3, 3.
Threes. One is positive, one is negative. Okay, so if you already see those pairs, you don't have to do a bunch of work. All right. So if we look, that one is N. So number 3 at the bottom is N. I'm gonna go ahead and do number 4. Number 4 is 5x cubed, just because they're bigger numbers, minus 40x squared plus 60x. Guys, they don't get any harder in this unless they have a slide and divide. Okay, and we're going to get to one of those in a minute. So all of them in this column will not slide and divide. You'll pull out the GCF and do the cheater method. The other column will have some slide and divide. Okay, so this will be the last one that we do in this column, and then I'll work some of the ones in the other ones. So we have a 5 and 3 x's. We have a minus. 40 is 4 times 10. So 4 is 2 and 2. 10 is 2 and 5 and 2 x's. 60 is 6 and 10. 6 is 3 and 2. 10 is 2 and 5 and an x. What do they have in common?
A 5 and 1X.
So like I told you, I would write that out here and then just write my 2 parentheses as a placeholder. That left me with x squared minus 3 2's is 8x, and then 3 times 2 is 6, times 2 is 12. So I have 3 terms and it's cheater method. So factors of 12 that add to negative 8. I'm going to go ahead and tell you those are negative 6 and negative 2. So our letter was x and a negative 6, x and a negative 2. So those go up the top of that 5x. That letter on your paper is O. So number 4 is also going to be O. Okay. So I marked out 4 because we did that. It turned out to be O. All right. So again, 5 and 6, you're going to take out a GCF and do cheater method. GCF cheater method. So let's look at number 7. Number 7 will not be that way. We have 4m squared minus 18m plus 14. Four is 2 and 2 and 2 m's. 18 is 2 times 9. 9 is 3 and 3 and an m. 14 is 2 and 7. What do they have in common? Just 1, 2. So that's going to go outside of your parentheses over here. Now what we have left is 2m squared. 3 times 3 is 9m. And we have a 7. So because we have the number in front, I have to do slide and divide. Okay. All of these on this side, except for number 10, will be slide and divide. Okay. And we'll talk about that. All right. Slide your 2 over. We get m squared minus 9m plus 2 times 7 is 14. I need factors of 14 that add to negative 9. You can find those on your calculator. I'm going to go ahead and tell you they're negative 7 and negative 2. So we have m minus 7, m minus 2. I did slide. Then I have to divide. You can test these in your calculator. 7 over 2 will not fix. So it'll be 2m minus 7. And what is 2 divided by 2? 1. So 2m minus 7 and m minus 1. And it doesn't matter what order those two are in. Okay. So you could have m minus 1 and 2m minus 7, and that would have been fine. All right. So when we look back at our paper, we did number 7. We got 2m minus 7, so n. So number 7 is n. All right. I want to do number 10. So we have 50m cubed minus 2m. This one won't take much room at all, I can promise you that. And I'm going to do one more after this one, and then I'll be done. I told you 6, but I'm going to do 7. That's one last homework problem you got to do, so don't complain that I'm doing it with you, okay? Don't do it. 50m cubed minus 2m. 50 is 5 and 10. 10 is 5 and 2. And 3 m's.
Okay.
You're okay. And then minus 2m is just a 2 and an m. Yuck. Yuck. What do we have in common?
There's
2 and an M. So our GCF is a 2M. What do we always have left when we circle everything?
Bears.
No,
Or
no. We do have pairs up here, but what do we always have left when we circle everything? What do we always write down? 1. How many ones can I write down? As many as I want, right? Because 1 times 1 is still 1, times 1 is still 1, times 1, it doesn't matter. So I can make this pairs and shares. So that's why I wanted to show you this one, is because I didn't want you to freak out when you didn't have anything left there. So we see 2 5s, 2 M's, and 2 1s. So that means we're going to share them. In the front, we have 5s and M's. In the back, we have 1s. 1 is positive, 1 is negative. And that letter is going to be P. So 10 is P. And then I'm going to do number 12 with you, and then I'll stop. Okay, number 12, and then I'll stop. Has everybody got number 10?
What's the letter for 10?
P. All right, again, number 12, and I'm going to stop. So we have 60M cubed plus 54M squared minus 6M. All right, 60 is 6 and 10. 6 is 2 and 3. 10 is 2 and 5 and 3 M's. 54 is 9 times 6. 9 is 3 and 3. 6 is 3 and 2 and 2 M's. And then 6 is 2 times 3 and an M. What do they have in common?
Oh,
You're right. What else? A 3 and an M. See how we circled everything? Write a 1 up there. Okay. So we took out 2 times 3 is 6 and an M. And I need to figure out what my other parentheses are. All right. 2 times 5 is 10 and 2 M's. 3 times 3 is 9 and an M. And then we have a minus 1. Okay, so don't forget, if you circle everything, you put a 1. And I told you the rest of this is going to be slide and divide. Okay, so you're going to pull out a GCF in this column and slide and divide. So we're going to slide our 10 over. We get M squared plus 9M minus 10. I need factors of negative 10 that add to 9. Those will be 10 and negative 1. So I get M and a positive 10, M and a negative 1. I did slide. Now I have to divide. 10 over 10 is 1. This one does not fix, so we slide the 10 up. 10M minus 1. So there are your 2 parentheses. So it will be C. C. Number 12 is C. Any questions? All right. So again, 5 and 6, GCF cheater method. 8, 9, and 11. 8 and 9 is a GCF cheater method, but GCF slide and divide. But number 11, just so you know, does not have a GCF. It is just slide and divide. Okay, so don't try to break it down. Don't take that step. Everybody good? All right. I'm going to stop sharing, stop recording.